how's it going, everyone? Today I'm gonna finally sit down and talk about what I hope will be a blazing festival for the upcoming Super Impact, which I kind of wish we were still synced up because I really am looking forward to it. So if you guys don't know what the Super Impact actually is going to be for the next coming Super Impact that we're going to be getting, it is going to be for none other than the Masked Man, or my boy Obito, back when he was a teenager in his fight against Minato. So with that said, I mean, it's already kind of out the bag. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are assuming, okay, Masked Man, he went up against Minato, so Minato probably Blazing Festival, but that alone is something that I feel like a lot of people have already figured out by now. So that's not the important part, and that's not the interesting part in my opinion. I would love to get a Minato, and we're gonna touch on that, but there's a lot of other things to take into account too. There's actually another unit that I would actually rather have than Minato, but with that said, they could still give us Minato, but not in the way that you might think. So first of all, this is what he looks like. Masked Man looks pretty nice, honestly. I can't wait to see what it looks like in a bigger kind of view, you know what I'm saying? But I like it, man. I love that version of Obito. I touched on this in yesterday's video, I believe. I love that version of Obito. Arguably one of the most strongest versions of Obito, just because he had the chains. Literally, if you would have been fighting anybody other than Minato with those chains, he would have caught them, they would have been stuck. Kamui GG instantaneously, but Minato was fast enough to get out of it. On top of that, this version of Obito had control of the QB, and that alone, that was before Minato split in half too, man. The full power of the QB, along with Obito's immense prowess with Kamui, this man was broken strong. If anybody other than Minato would have been facing him, well, you know, above Sage 6 pass level and stuff like that, Obito would have immediately just clapped them immediately. But with that said, I am looking forward to what they could do in terms of a unit. So first we will talk about Minato, just because I feel like that's the easiest part, because a lot of people are expecting him. So first of all, before that, we do actually have a Masked Man already into the game. If you guys don't know, it's an impact unit from a long time ago, and honestly, like, I was really sad that it was the unit that we like got back in the day, because they could have made him a lot better even then, because this dude, he's such a big chakra cost. He's 816. If you do have these abilities, it will go to 12, I believe, but with that said, it's still like, really, it's just yeah, this man he's really old. So this dude, he doesn't even have a jutsu for the Nine Tails. So with that said, they could definitely implement that into this one. They could definitely give him the power of the QB. They could definitely give him the power of just some more Kamui shenanigans, I suppose. But back then, we actually did get a Blazing Fez Minato to kind of go along with it, I guess you could say. This was before they had the Super Impact and correlation between them, but they still did things like that. So Minato right here. Now, what I think they're gonna do is they'll either give us a new Blazing Festival Minato, which is likely, or what I want them to do, and I know a lot of people aren't really into this, I would rather them give this Minato a 7-star version. I would love that. I would love that so much, because the thing is, even if you don't want them to go back and give this unit a 7-star, if you want a brand new unit, this dude is already like really good. He really is. He's a good nuker still for bravery, even though he kind of pales in comparison to some other nukers. And I would actually like to get another unit that's not a wisdom, because we already have so many wisdom nukers. So I would be fine with a brand new Minato that's a different typing. But the problem is, Bandai and Griya, they're both kind of known for making version 2 of units. So what I'm saying is, they're probably going to end up making a brand new Minato and giving him the wisdom typing anyway, because that's always what they end up doing. A great example of this is this Tendo Pain right here. We had an old Blazing Festival Heart type Pain. What did they do? They made this man, and everybody referred to him as the Heart version 2 Pain. They've done this in the past with so many units, and they continue to do it. So the thing is, they're probably gonna make, if they do make a new Minato, they're most likely gonna make it where he's still a wisdom type anyway. And even if they don't, getting a 7-star version of this would be pretty good in my opinion too. I would love a 7-star version, because then what they could do is they could go ahead and release maybe a brand new Blazing Festival unit alongside this. That way, you could also have this Minato for longtime players, and on top of that, you could also go ahead and get you a new unit. But now, I don't think they're going to do that, because we already had 7-star Sage 6 pass Naruto not too long ago, and we do have 7-star Madara coming on Global next week. The following week, we would have the Super Impact, so I don't think they're going to give us 2 7-stars right back to back like that. I really don't. I would love for that, but I don't think they will, especially because the materials, unless they give you new ways to get them, although you can get the materials pretty easily, honestly. So if they don't do that, there is another unit that I actually would really love for another Blazing Fest unit, and I feel like this is kind of an unpopular one compared to Minato, and I feel you, but I'm talking about Kushina Uzumaki, Naruto's mom. So Kushina, of course, was also not really fighting Obito. She didn't really fight him. He kind of just like cucked her because she just had Naruto, and then he took the Nine Tails out of her. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't have a form of Kushina. Now obviously I don't think they're going to do a dual Blazing Festival because it's not an event period or anything like that. They didn't even do that for Golden Week. But with that said, if they did give us a new 7-star version of that other Minato, they could go ahead and drop this Kushina alongside him as a new Blazing Festival, and it's not technically a dual Blazing Fest, but they could do it like that. But I don't think they will. So if they don't give us Minato, I would rather have Kushina then, because I feel like that would be cool. We don't have a Blazing Festival version of her. All the versions of Kushina in this game have actually been kind of bad. The Phantom Castle one has some heals, but that's really about it. This one, on the other hand, is not bad. A lot of people sleep on this Kushina, but I absolutely love her for switching the typing to heart. But with that said, she's kind of useless in a sense now, in my opinion, because yes, Kushina is really amazing for switching the typing, not to heart, to skill. But the problem is that nowadays you can just use Kakashi. Like, you can literally use 7-star Kakashi's ult and he switches the typing automatically. So yeah, it's like, why? like obviously you can still use Kushina, but she only switches one to skill anyway, so you might as well use Kakashi. There's other units that change multiple units to skill, but you can't sync with the heart type to go ahead and get the pearl objective. But Kakashi kind of fills the role of Kushina now, so yeah, in my opinion, we need a new one then, because that Kushina is gonna be kind of useless for a lot of people like me who can just use Kakashi now. So I think a new Kushina needs to be implemented as well. But if they give us Minato, I feel like a lot of people would rather have that. I still rather would, but I feel like a new Kushina is definitely necessary, and this is like the best time to do it because she doesn't really do a lot otherwise in terms of the story. Then that's when we really got to see her and Minato together. I mean, she did go ahead and like take care of Kurama at some parts, so maybe what they could do is they could give us the super impact like they did with the last one, where you can actually go ahead and fight 2 bosses. I feel like that would be very interesting if you're able to fight 2 bosses like they did with the Jubi super impact. That was really nice. So maybe you could have one map where you fight Kurama, and the next map you fight the masked man as Minato or something like that. I would really like that a lot. I really would. But just because Kushina, man, we haven't had a new version of her in a while. We just haven't. So if they want to give us Minato or they want to give us Kushina, I honestly wouldn't mind. But I also just hope they don't cuck my man Obito, because we need a new masked man that can actually do something. Please don't give this man this much chakra, obviously. But they could definitely implement Kurama into the equation, because this man doesn't use Kurama. He just uses the fireball and he uses the heaven and earth. So we can definitely see something like that. I would really love a Minato 7-star, and a Kushina doesn't need to be a 7-star. The Kushina could just be a 6-star, of course, but I don't know if they're gonna do that. And obviously a 7-star is probably not likely because of Madara coming, but I still can hold out hope, you know what I'm saying? So those are gonna be my choices. Those are the only 2 that make sense, because Obito didn't fight anybody else. Now they could go and just give us something random. They did this in the form of the last super impact, if I'm right. We had Jubito and then Kinkaku and Ginkaku. It was like, that's not really a correlation. It's not direct. So hopefully we get Minato or Kushina, but honestly, they could give us anything at this point. As far as global goes though, we will be getting this mission next week, which I'm looking forward to, because it will give you some pearls and stuff of that nature, and I'm guessing this is going to be the emergency mission that we get for right now, unless they had another one. They usually had one with a character, but I don't know if that's exactly what they were going to do with this. But also Kage League is about to start. I don't know about you guys, but oh man, I am so ready to go ahead and awaken my Madara next week over on global. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so much fun, because I love that they're doing that, because you can get 7 stars just for being a long time player. Like, I'm being rewarded for having playing the game a long time. With that said, also man, the qualifying league did end up getting filled up, just as I said, and that's kind of crazy, man. If you guys saw yesterday's video, I barely squeezed through just a little bit, and it was a lot of fun. So with that said, I'm looking forward to seeing how the next week goes. I might actually jump into Kage League if I'm feeling it. But with that said, man, I'm looking so myself like hyped for what's coming. Like we got a 7-star next week that's free for me technically. Then I have a possible Minato, who is my second favorite Naruto character, right below Obito, and a brand new Obito in the form of one of my favorite versions of him, where he had Kurama and stuff of that nature. So I'm really hyped, honestly, for what's to come for me personally, just because all those benefit me, because I'm a fan of those characters. So I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys want for units. I feel like Minato and Kushina are kind of like the best choices you could think of. I would actually really love a Kushina, but Minato's fine too. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.